Hello and welcome to today's episode of Two Pigs in a Pod, a podcast for the people of Glazing by the people of Glazing. Joining me as today's guest is RW Simon's Lee Manton. Welcome to the Pigs podcast, Lee.
Good afternoon, George. How are you?
I'm all good, thank you. I'm glad to have you on. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Busy, but good.
Yeah, good. That's always good to hear when you are busy.
Yeah, sure it is.
So we'll crack straight on with the first question, as we always do with the Pigs podcast, is what taking it right back to the beginning, and how did you get into our wonderful world of glazing and fenestration?
Fairly simple, really. I joined a local aluminium fabricator straight from school, and I hate to admit this, in the early 80s now. Um, and I've stayed in the industry ever since. And I'm just coming up to my 25th year in the ventilation business with RW Simon this St George's Day.
Nice, amazing. So what initially drew you to that sector from, did you know anything about the glazing sector before you started?
No, obviously where we're based in the West, well, where I'm based in the West Midlands, it is
Yeah.
very, very automotive driven.
Yeah.
Um, and I just had a feeling it was something I didn't want to be involved in. Um, I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. So
Nice.
yeah, it was just one of those things.
Yeah, nice. And when you got that first job, what was it like? What did you think that then you when you was on the inside, what did you think of glazing?
I loved it. I'm going to be honest. I absolutely loved it straight away because it wasn't a massive corporate operation. It was a family owned business. I joined as a YTS training scheme to start with. If there's enough people still know what a YTS training scheme is. And then went on to do a commercial apprenticeship, which was great because it gave me insight into all sides of the business, from procurement to contracts to even doing, jobs down on the shop floor. It was good, really enjoyed it, and it made me enjoy what I was doing all the time.
Nice. And obviously, yeah, what happened from then on to lead you to RW Simon? What was your sort of route into the company?
After I left Planet, I went on to contract administration and then project management. And from that installation project led work, and I probably did that for 10 years. Uh, like everyone sort of running into the mid 90s, I'm sure I run into a few redundancies and was um, looking for a continuation of my career. And RW Simon came along. Whether I can mention this, post transplant in early 2000. So it was a opportunity. I was looking to get back into work at that point, and RW Simon were a great fit for me.
Nice. And was there you said you said you liked the industry from quite early on, but was there kind of a moment where you felt that it was right for you? Or was it just, general just being in the industry, you knew that you was in the right place?
Yeah, I genuinely did, and I like. I mean, I actually genuinely like the people I work with.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that goes a long way
absolutely.
to moulding how you perceive an industry, if that's okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you just, yeah, it's one of those. I like the industry. I like the people. I like the supply chain guys that we were working with. Um, yeah, it's just a nice environment to work in.
Yeah, I mean, we said it on here before. You probably see your people at work you work with more than your family. You're there more times than obviously. So it's kind of you've got to enjoy it, haven't you? So you've got to enjoy the people you work with and the industry that you're working in.
There's absolutely no point in being miserable in the job you're doing.
Exactly.
There's just absolutely no point in that at all.
Yeah. And moving on to speaking about people that you've had around you for your career, has there been any sort of key people in your career life that it's worth mentioning to? There's yeah,
There's a couple, and again, coming back to your first point about how did you get into it, my first one would have been probably my careers advisor at school,
Nice.
who, when you spoke to him about saying, like, I don't want to go into the car industry, the
Yeah, yeah.
automotive industry, he spent the time and took the time to look at alternatives.
Nice.
Bear in mind, this was a secondary modern school. It
Y-
wasn't a grammar
y-
school or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's that sort of that teacher that actually did that front end legwork for me, that
Nice.
helped me and put me into that position. And the second one I would probably say was a contract director at a company called Ward Architectural, a man
Yeah.
called Pete Williams. Now, we worked together late 80s, and he was just one of those inspirational people when you talk to him. Bore you out when you needed to. Not very PC in today's world,
Yeah, yeah.
uh, but absolutely solid as a rock when you needed him to be. And I still speak to him now,
Amazing.
even though he's been retired 20 odd years nearly.
Yeah.
Fantastic guy. And I took a lot from that. And as you go through, it's one of those things that you do take through. And you sort of want to not copy, but improve on their sort of attitude to work life.
Yeah.
It was great. He was just, no, I wouldn't say inspirational. That's probably not the right word. But a person that you can honestly go, I can trust.
Yeah.
That's probably the word. And that'll probably run through a lot of my answers. Is the trust in people.
Yeah. Nice. And do you feel like you said you've been in RW Simon in the industry for 25 years now? Do you feel like you've taken some of what you learned at the start of your career and you're taking it into giving it to potential people now just starting their career or early into their career now?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of the key things that I think going forward is going to be. Well, I certainly, but I hope I do. Is pass that level of information through to the people that are coming through within RW Simons now.
Yeah.
We've recently had a bit of a restructure because one of my senior management colleagues has actually retires tomorrow,
Okay.
and we've restructured the business in the last 6 months, and then done internal promotions for the business, and that is again bringing people forward that the industry needs,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
there's a lot of grey-haired people like me in the industry at the moment. Stop laughing, George. That we do need to recognise that the industry has a potential issue coming down the line.
Yeah, yeah, massively so. And do you feel like that's why, before we move on to speak about who RW Simon are, you're connected a lot to sort of awards and people like that, or looking at the future of our industry? Is that a reason why you do it? Because you're so massively, you understand the need to get new people into our industry, which we speak about time and time again, that you feel, connecting yourself to events or, like the Glazing Summit last year, that's massively important.
Um, Totally honest, probably no. Um, I feel RW Simon, because where we are as a location in North Devon,
Yeah.
is a bit off the beaten track for that
Okay.
sort of thing. So we tend to work with. I'm okay because we've got a Midlands office, but we have an issue that we have to make sure that, one, it's great for people to come surfing in every 2 weeks in the summer,
Yeah.
but we have to make sure that the people we bring into the business buy into the business, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So awards, not necessarily, but it's getting the right people into the business is a very, very key thing for our business.
Yeah, nice. And like I said, yeah, for those that don't know who RW Simon are, what they do within our sector, can you give us sort of a brief history of who they are and what they do?
Yeah, brief history. Just coming up to 70 years in 2027 of operations. Originally based in North London, and still a family-owned business. The owner that set the business up, and I'm sure everybody in the industry will know this, started to manufacture the little round rotating vents that go into glass. And we still sell significant amounts of them every year, over £250,000 a year of them. It's an unbelievable product, and if you can tell me of another product in this industry that is still going strong, nearly 70 years on, I'd be amazed. Uh, they moved. They had a business development grant in the early 70s to relocate the business down to North Devon, where we also then started up an injection moulding operation. And the business has developed from there. We're very heavily now into the pharmaceutical life sciences part with the moulding operations. Um, it's a business that is as organically grown is probably the way of saying that.
Yeah, nice. And do you think that's what makes you stand out as a company, that you've got that history of, like you said, nearly 70 years, but there's still products from that's still really massively popular and still going strong even after all
I,
that time?
I think what it is that we've always moved. Because it's a family business, we can move quickly within the industry for changes in the industry. We introduced over glass vents into the industry. We now do overframe type product. Acoustics is becoming incredibly important to the industry now. And in the last few years, we've also introduced louvers and breeze-allowed and solar shading. I'm sure coming on to future regulations with overheating, not just heat, warmth in buildings and retention of warmth. We're going to have a massive problem in this country soon with buildings overheating because of the way we construct buildings. Which is one of the reasons we took that decision a few years ago to start to get into solar shading projects as well, because we are going to need to reduce the heat load on buildings.
Yeah, and do you think that is the reason why you're being a family-owned business, and like you said, you can make decisions on the spot, that you can see something coming from afar and actually be able to do it before you actually need to, as such?
Yeah, it's not making snap decisions. It's looking at the market and looking at the future of the market, and having a nimble management to make those decisions. I think is really imperative for businesses going forward. And up to now, the family have always backed the management team in their decisions, um, and that's great for me. That is you haven't got to go through a massive corporate stream of paperwork. We make the case, we make the decision, right or wrong.
Yeah. Nice. And yeah, moving on to speak about one of those parts of trickle vents. I remember when it first came out, and that it had to be part of the building regulations, and it caused a lot of bit of a big storm, of needing it. Can you explain why they're so important for people that might not necessarily, even now a few years down the road, understand what they are and what they do?
Well, this is going to be the contentious part, I suspect, of this. um, People in the industry know that ventilation is important,
Yeah.
and I think a lot of them still choose not to take it as seriously as they should do.
Yeah.
Obviously, some of the big, large fabricators will do so, but it's super important to the industry now, and it's something that they need to embrace rather than, and it's something I've referred to as before, we're a necessary evil, or have been.
Yeah.
If that's the way I see, oh, we've got to do it, right? Okay, who are we going to use? Now it's becoming, with the changes in regulation, it's becoming imperative that people do embrace ventilation, right? We continually see that we're improving air tightness within properties massively in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We can see that windows are getting better. But what we're not embracing is how we actually breathe in our properties.
Mm.
and background ventilators, trickle ventilators allow us to do that. And the recent court cases where people have had issues with, unfortunately, one young lad dying
Yeah, yeah,
and mold through, which is, you can see it through every press release you see at the moment, and which is why industry needs to look at it seriously and take it more seriously.
yeah,
That's one of the key things that I see. Um, but yeah, then the biggest thing, and one of the notes that I jotted down while we were doing this, is it is a controlled element. The one thing I get asked every time is, why do I need to fit them?
mm,
What Mrs. X doesn't want them done.
yeah,
Unfortunately, if you don't, you will be making a problem for yourself coming down the road.
yeah,
Uh, but it is, and the two words I wrote down was control and balance,
yeah.
and that's what trickle vents give to the windows.
Yeah, and do you think, like you said, like, and I've seen it as well with the law coming in surrounding sort of the ventilation, and like you said about AWAB's law, and is it, do you think that will be an easier conversation as we move forward, because it is becoming the mainstream, where you're seeing general BBC and the like covering things like that to do with ventilation, that those conversations and those
Oh yeah,
people in our industry will
absolutely.
will understand it a bit better and understand the need for it.
I think they. I think they will. But what I do believe is that instead of taking it, as I referred to earlier, as a necessary evil,
Yeah,
what they should do really is embrace it,
yeah,
embrace the product that they're selling, and use it as an added value to their product.
yeah,
We did it 10, 15 years ago with security at Windows. So when people were being robbed because they've got they've got a simple lever latch handle,
yeah,
take the ventilation product and take them as an added value to your product. So you are showing the clients that you're providing them with a product that is suitable for their living.
yeah,
And that's the important thing. And it sounds a bit cliche, but we do all need to live in our houses. We spend 2/3 of our time there.
yeah,
And that's something that I do think that the industry should embrace more. Um, yeah, that's sort of where I would be on that.
yeah. Nice. And moving back to speak about yourself and your career, like you say, you've spent 25 years in it now. So it's like, has there been any proud moments that you can take on podcasts like this where you can go, yeah, actually that was pretty good. What we did, or what I did at that point.
Well, from a personal point of view, yeah. I think my time at Simon's, you know, we've introduced a number of products into the market that's allowed the company to grow, and
Yeah,
it's bringing those products in, and not just bringing them into like as an idea, but seeing our industry, some certain parts of the industry embrace what you're looking at and
yeah,
spending the time to get the products right for industry. And this is probably why I'm a bit evangelical about using the products to add value to the end users, the window fabricators, and the network that we work
yeah.
with.
Nice. And is there anything that you're allowed to say that's coming on the horizon for RW Simon? Like you said, there's new products that you've been a part of. Is there anything on the horizon?
There is, but if everything goes to plan, we are recently signed up to Fit 27, and we would like to be launching towards the end of this year for Fit 27. So that's something I will keep under my hat if you don't mind.
Nice. And speaking briefly about the Fit Show, why are you exhibiting there?
um, Fit Show is obviously it's the biggest talking shop for the industry. It's the biggest event where people see new products. If you are bringing, there's no point in just going year after year with the same old product that you've got. If you're going to bring something new, it's the position to be in. So that's why we're going back to Fit after about 5 years. No, a bit more than that, probably about 7 years actually. So we are going back because we hopefully, if everything goes to plan, we've got some new products for people to view and to come and have a chat with us about.
Nice. And what still excites you about this industry and about that you're part of the industry is after 25 years? Do you still enjoy it as much as you did when you were first looking into our sector?
I do, and again, it comes back to what you just said. Is it's an ever evolving industry.
Yeah.
You know, as much as we hate regulation because it makes us all have to think and test and everything else that you talk about, it's an evolving industry because the construction industry is evolving all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and if you sit on your hand, and that's the one thing I do like about this industry, it's always moving, it's always thinking. You know, you look at things like smart technologies that are coming on.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a yeah, it's a good industry to be in. It really is good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess you can say the same thing about like why you said right at the start that you know you like the people in it and obviously the people that you work with, and I guess that's still the same. You know, the industry's still got a lot of good characters in it that you know people that come on this podcast. I know for sure for myself, but I'm sure you're the same of knowing you know why this industry is such a good place to be.
Yes, it, it, it's not a massive industry.
No.
Again, not a great term, but it's fairly incestuous. Everyone seems to know each other.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have to edit that little bit out,
No,
but
it's been on the podcast before. Someone's actually used the same words, and yeah, you're right.
and that's one of the good things because you can talk to people and you can involve those people in potential changes to one to regulations, two to product, talking about improving the product that we're all working to do. That's one of the reasons I like it, to be honest.
Yeah, nice. And speaking for
Probably
those people, I was just going to say, speaking for people that you know potentially are coming into this industry, might be right at the start of their career, or you know, watching this podcast episode and thinking, you know, I want to get into this sector. Like, what advice would you give them as someone that started out, you know, doing an apprenticeship and doing it and sort of earning the hard yards? Would you recommend it? And two, what advice would you give to them?
Certainly, I'd recommend it because I think construction as a whole is a good industry to be in. The fenestration side is very interesting and it will continue to evolve. Um, you use the word apprenticeship there, and it's another word that I wrote down with my notes that I was looking at. Is I would advise people to look at certainly apprenticeships, whether they be commercial or technical apprenticeships, um, because there's a lot of people working at the moment with degrees from other sources, but this gives them an incentive to come into something while they're working, and with all due respect, to get paid whilst they're working and not rack up massive debts, which is very important going forward. But it's an industry that will embrace that. So they will embrace the hands-on attitude to work. And I think that would be a really, really good thing going forward.
Yeah, nice. Well, thanks very much, Lee. For the main part of the podcast is done, so you can rest easy now. So we're gonna move on to our this or that round. So if you've seen previous episodes before, I'll ask you
Yeah.
a question, and it's either this or that, and as no overthinking, and whatever's the first thing that comes to your head.
Oh, that could be dangerous.
It's all easy stuff. Don't you worry. So
Yeah.
the first question I'll ask is: do you prefer being in the office or on the factory floor?
I actually prefer customers, being with customers,
Nice, nice.
to give a third option.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like. Yeah. Do you prefer innovation or tradition?
Innovation.
Nice. Are you an early starter or a late finisher?
Early starter. Always, if I'm down at head office in Devon, I'm always in for 7:30.
Oh, okay.
Um, so usually the first in.
Yeah.
And probably the last to leave usually if I'm spending 5
Yeah,
minutes.
but
So,
both
but
things, right?
I prefer to be up and running. If
No.
I'm seeing customers, I'll be on the road very early.
Yeah.
Hate sitting in traffic.
No. I guess this is one that, do you prefer speaking to customers over phone call or email? But I'm going to say, I guess you like seeing them in person, like you just answered there.
Yeah, I love going to visit customers. Happy to do things like Teams meetings.
Yeah.
I think you referenced it earlier. That's a great innovation.
Yeah.
But I, I also like being in front of people, so I always like to do the whites of their eyes.
Nice. Are you a coffee or a tea drinker?
Tea, that one's easy.
Are you a city break person or a countryside retreat?
City break, definitely.
Yeah, me too. Are
Yeah,
you more of a routine person or a bit of variety in your life?
variety,
Nice. Uh,
variety. Yeah,
do you prefer being always on time or always prepared?
I think you have to be both.
Yeah, one leads into the other.
Yeah, I think if you're on time and you're prepared, then you're going to make your life a whole lot easier.
Yeah. Are you a risk taker or a risk manager?
Manager, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One big goal or lots of small wins to get to that big goal?
Small wins.
Nice.
I think I watched a program about McLaren a few years ago now, and
Yeah.
they used the term of small improvements, small wins, always better.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely. Moving on to if you've watched a McLaren documentary, are you a live sport person or a live music person if you had to pick one?
both. If I pick one, definitely sport. Definitely.
Nice. And the last one, do you prefer staying in or going out?
Now I'm getting on a bit, staying in.
Don't worry, I'm the same. It's just when the weather heats up a bit, which is it had been, but now it's gone back to being a bit grey. But yeah, I think staying in is all the rage now. I think, especially with everything costing so much.
Oh, crikey, yeah. Blimey. Yeah.
uh, well, thanks very much, Lee, for the last part of our podcast. We get guests to give a shout out to people. It can be people in the industry, out the industry, friends, family, whoever you want to name. So, who your shout out or shout outs for?
I think the biggest one I'd have to say, and it's again a little bit cliched, I'd like to say a big thanks to everyone at RW Sign and the team behind what we do, because as I referenced earlier, it is a big family team,
Yeah.
and obviously to all of our customers, otherwise they'll shout at me.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much for coming on the Pigs podcast, Lee. It's been great.
No problem. Absolute pleasure, George. It wasn't painful, and I
I
appreciate
told
what
I
you.
told you, didn't I? I told you off air that it would be. Yeah, I knew you'd be a good one. So yeah, I'm glad that we was all good and got through it easily.
Hopefully, it weren't too controversial for you, George.
We'll see about that, but I don't think I think you was all good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much for joining us, like I said, Lee, and of course, everyone for listening. You can find this episode and all others on our website, www.peopleinglazing.co.uk, on our YouTube channel at People in Glazing Society, and also available to download on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And whilst you're there, please don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode. So, thanks again for tuning in, and see you for another episode soon.